In small towns, trust is everything. People leave their doors unlocked. Children ride bikes until sunset. And police officers aren't just law enforcement, they're neighbors, friends, family. So when a respected small-town police officer vanished without a trace, his disappearance didn't just shock the community. It shattered it. This is the story of Officer Daniel Reeves. And the secrets no one saw coming. Dark true crime stories. The disappearance of Officer Daniel Reeves. Maple Ridge was the kind of town most people only see in movies. One main road. A diner where everyone knew your order. A police department with fewer than a dozen officers. Officer Daniel Reeves had served the town for nearly 10 years. He was dependable. Calm. Friendly. Parents trusted him. Kids admired him. To many, he represented safety itself. Daniel lived alone in a modest house just outside town. He kept a predictable routine. Morning coffee at the same gas station. Evening patrols. Weekend volunteer work. That's why it raised alarms when Daniel didn't show up for his Monday shift. At first, fellow officers assumed something minor had delayed him. But when his phone went straight to voicemail, and repeated knocks at his door went unanswered, concern quickly escalated. Inside Daniel's home, everything appeared normal. No signs of a struggle. No forced entry. His wallet was still there. His patrol vehicle sat parked in the driveway. By sunset, Maple Ridge faced an unthinkable possibility. One of their own had vanished. Search efforts began immediately. Volunteers combed nearby woods. K-9 units searched surrounding fields. Flyers were posted across neighboring towns. At first, investigators believed Daniel may have been the victim of a random crime. But as hours turned into days, that theory began to unravel. Subtle red flags started to appear. Bank records showed Daniel had withdrawn unusually large amounts of cash in recent weeks. Neighbors recalled seeing him leave his house late at night, something he rarely did before. A few mentioned he seemed distracted, even anxious. Then came the phone. Investigators recovered Daniel's cell phone data and found a string of messages that didn't match the man everyone thought they knew. The texts hinted at stress, fear, and a situation Daniel described as getting out of control. One message stood out. "I need to fix this before it ruins everything." Suddenly, the case no longer looked random. State investigators were brought in to assist the local police department. Their focus shifted from who could have taken Daniel to who Daniel had been dealing with. Phone records revealed frequent contact with a single individual, someone deeply embedded in Daniel's personal life. This wasn't a stranger. This wasn't a criminal with a record. It was someone Daniel trusted completely. Security footage from a nearby business captured Daniel meeting this person on the night he disappeared. The interaction looked calm, almost routine. But investigators knew better. Interviews with friends and colleagues painted a clearer picture. Daniel had been carrying a secret, one that threatened to destroy not only his career, but multiple lives. The search for an unknown attacker quietly ended. The danger hadn't come from outside Maple Ridge. It had been there all along. As the truth emerged, the motive became painfully clear. Daniel had discovered information he could no longer ignore. Something involving someone close to him. Something that crossed legal and moral lines. He planned to confront it. And possibly expose it. For the suspect, that meant everything was at risk. Reputation. Family. Freedom. What was supposed to be a conversation turned into a moment of panic. A moment where fear outweighed reason. No one planned a disappearance. But one decision led to another. And there was no way back. Daniel's trust became the very thing that cost him his life. When the case was finally closed, Maple Ridge was forever changed. The officer they had trusted to protect them had been betrayed by someone within their own circle. The town returned to normal, at least on the surface. But people locked their doors more often. Late-night conversations stopped. And trust no longer came easily. Officer Daniel Reeves was remembered not just as a police officer, but as a reminder that even in the safest places, the darkest secrets can hide in plain sight. Cases like this force us to ask an uncomfortable question. How well do we really know the people around us? If you found this story compelling, Subscribe to Dark True Crime Stories for more real crime cases, unsolved mysteries, and true crime documentaries. Because sometimes, the most chilling stories aren't about strangers. They're about the people we trust the most.